Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Welcome to this video about a rune spread that I have created for Loki. I did this because I felt like we're working with the runes a little bit more this week. They are one of my ongoing assignments from Loki. So I decided to use his name as the foundation for a runic spread. So beginning with the character for L, we have Laguz. Its general meaning is water, but more precisely it represents the flow of things, everything that which conducts, looking into the future, emotions, renewal, life, energy, love, and lagoons. So the rune that appears in this position will be about what's in motion in my life, or tapping into the elemental water energy and intuitive insight. Next we have O, which is Olitha, meaning inheritance. So think property, ancestral homeland, legacies, help in physical and spiritual journeys, and origins. The rune that ends up in this position will reference that which is passed on from previous generations, getting back to one's roots, also letting go and moving on, possibly going on a journey and leaving something behind in the process. Then we have K, which is Kinaz, meaning torch, but it's also a beacon, awakening, creativity, opening up, illumination, vision, growth, self-knowledge, controlled healing, and comprehension. So the rune that will be in this position is everything that is manifesting within the inner fire of the soul. What has sparked between the mind, the heart, and intuition all coming together and colliding. It'll be a personal catalyst for further action I ought to be taking. And then last we have I, which is Isa, which means ice. You also might think of stasis, an impediment, psychological blocks, eerie stillness, eternity, intent, and withdrawal. The rune in this spot will likely represent personal blockages or likely obstacles I'm going to find in my path, anything that has been evaded, and areas where no growth has occurred. So I drew some runes so we could see what we could see, and I focused on how things are going with my personal studies. Hopefully it would result with a clearer idea of where I'm on the right track and what could use a little bit of adjustment. So in the Laguz position, we have the rune Alges. Its literal meaning is the elk, and it has a general sense of protection, refuge, a shield, defense, repelling enemies, reassurance, higher life, awakening, and connection to the gods. So this is what is in motion with my studies, where I am in the greater flow of things. So on the whole, Alges is telling me that so far I'm going the direction I should go, and I should swim along with the current current. Then we have the Olitha position, and I drew Yira, which represents the harvest, or a cycle of 1 year, getting your wages, rewards, gain, fruits of your labor, having plenty, journey, and justice. This represents what I've inherited, the origins that I can explore, the sum total of knowledge that pagans have brought into the fore in the modern era. It's a lot of information and research to digest. It will take quite a while to get a handle on it. And it's a reminder to me that I am benefiting from other people's hard work, and I should honor their efforts. It's also a task. It's a field I must cultivate, so I do my own part in creating a future harvest for others and, for myself, but also for others, of knowledge and customs than what I inherited when I first began my journey into paganism. Next, we have the Kinaz position, and we have the rune Manaz, which represents mankind, the whole of human society, members of the family, the integrated self, a culture, shared memory. And this is where I can find my catalyst, and it will continue to be through forging real connections, creating community. The same thing that I'm forever rambling on and on about in my videos. Essentially, the task is to carry on with this work and to look for opportunities inherent and associated with new and different people, benefiting from their knowledge and experience, and also collaborating with them in public discussions. And finally, we have the Isa position, and I drew Olitha, which, as we know from what I just referenced, represents inheritance, property, what generations are passing on to the next, origins, physical, spiritual journeys, ancestral homelands, roots, all that good stuff. So because this has shown up where I experience blockages, that's kind of an interesting thing. And I think there are several different ways to interpret this. For one, just the fact that I live in a very young country. We have not knitted together on the cultural level the way that other nations have. For two, I was essentially raised outside of my culture and outside of my ancestral roots, and this was thanks to the deliberate choices and beliefs of my Jehovah's Witness parents. And, if that defines the first 30 years of your life, it's going to leave a mark. And the third way to really look at this is that I'm an ocean away from where my ancestors walked. So there's a lot of different reasons why there might be challenges in this particular area. And of course, the question, as always, is what to do about it. And I think the answer lies not only in continuing to study about various aspects of my cultural and spiritual heritage, but also to put more of these things that I learn into practice, form new habits based on this heritage, and eventually the ice will thaw and I'll be able to root in properly. So the test for any method of divination, old or new, is whether or not it proves to be reliable, providing insight and giving you a little bit of a glimmer about what might be coming over the horizon. So I'm going to keep trying out this spread from time to time, keep records, and just see how it ultimately plays out and if it turns out to be reliable. There's a variety of ways to work with Loki and to seek out his views. So I'm always experimenting. Today's video is just one way amongst many. And I would actually like to compare notes with other Loki devotees. Together, hopefully, we'll find enough consistencies through our experience and our knowledge and what we've researched to help provide some useful insights for each other and other pagans that come after us who might also choose to work with Loki, or who Loki chooses to work with, either way, whether that is on an occasional basis or as a patron deity. So tell me what you think of this spread if you decide to try it out for yourself. And don't hesitate to tell me about anything that you might choose to do to work with Loki and what kind of success you have. And, also the things that perhaps did not work out so well and why you think that was. Anyway, let's compare notes. You can do so in the comment section below, but even better would be to go to the description box, click to the link to the Gilded server. It's called Blackbird's Brew, and on the server you will find a variety of categories, lots of channels within those categories. One in particular focuses on Norse Germanic spirituality, and of course I have my own channel in the Member Spotlight section where you could communicate with me more directly about Loki or anything else that you just wanted to ask to me, as close to face as what we can manage over the internet. So I hope to hear from you soon, and that'll do it for this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.